Durant is under contract, but the Phoenix Suns are in a boatload of trouble, and they may need to make some drastic changes. And Draymond Green did a podcast and was talking about Kevin Durant. Some of the stuff he said about his game is very interesting. This is obviously
it is interesting, Steiny, when you hear him talk, man, about the game.
So he was talking about the difference between Kevin Durant in the Suns and the Kevin Durant for the Warriors. Take a listen.
Kevin Durant was maximized at the Golden State Warriors because Kevin Durant was allowed to do what Kevin Durant only wants to do. You know what that is? Just play basketball. Kevin Durant didn't have to worry about leading the team. And by the way he worked with us, I'm not going to sit here and be one of those people and act like, oh, he didn't bring any type of leadership. Like, the way he worked on a daily basis is leadership. But he didn't have the burden of, I need to lead this team every single day from all aspects, ever in Golden State. When he was with us, that was not a thing. He did not have the role of, I need to get these other guys involved. You know what he did? Score. Oh, shoot, they switching this screen and roll with me and Steph. Here, Kate, go get a bucket. That is maximizing Kevin Durant.
Wow. Where were the lies there, Steiny? And I do wonder if KD's listening to that. Does he got a – damn, Draymond's got a point, you know? Well, he didn't have to lead like he had to do Phoenix, and they had no point guard. Shoot Chris Paul away, that was idiotic, but they didn't replace him. And that's what I believe was Phoenix's problem.
I mean, I think it's a credit to Steph Curry. That's kind of what I heard there. I heard that – see, I think when Durant was in – Oklahoma City, he had no choice but to have to kind of lead that team. But his co-leader, Russell Westbrook,
who was a point guard,
his co-leader may not have been the greatest leader. And so he ends up leaving Oklahoma City and he comes to the Warriors. Like that to me resonated. Because the one thing about Kevin Durant that I believe is, I mean, he's just a gym rat. All he does is want to play basketball. Does it matter if Kevin Durant's not a leader?
For the Warriors, it does not.
Right.
Because that's not a prerequisite. But they don't need him to lead.
But
we've seen it.
But if you're acquiring Kevin Durant, why would you expect him to lead? You know what I mean? He's not a leader. He just wants the ball.
Right.
So if you're expecting him to be a leader, you're going to be disappointed. Like, was Phoenix expecting him to be a leader?
No, Phoenix hasn't done it. I know Booker's been a team that went to the finals, but no, Steiny, they need him to be exactly what he was when he was here last time. Go out there, be brilliant, and just make sweet music with Drake, Steph, and the rest of the gang. And everything else will take care of itself. But I love that it felt like, from my vantage point, that was the truth. They needed Kevin Durant and Phoenix to do everything, Donnie, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, I never viewed Kevin Durant as a leader. I never held it against him that he wasn't a leader. And I get that he didn't have to be a leader here, but I don't know why you would acquire Kevin Durant and expect him to be a leader. I think Phoenix thought Booker was the leader of that team and Kevin was just going to be able to play. But I don't know.
They needed the traditional point guard, and they killed him.
More Draymond on the Suns and Kevin Durant.
Maximizing Kevin Durant requires you to get Kevin Durant to the spot that Kevin Durant likes to score from. And y'all didn't do that because they thought that they could get it done without having a point guard. You want to maximize Kevin Durant? Go get a point guard. Put him in position to score. Take some of the other weight off his shoulders. But until you do that, you will be singing the same tune that nobody maximized Kevin Durant because y'all didn't.
Damn, Trey.
So there's two things here. One is, we talk about Draymond a lot, but this is Draymond Green to me at his best. I mean, he is so insightful about the game.
Amazing.
It is unbelievable. Like, I know point guards get the ball to players where they want and all that kind of stuff, but I would have never been able to put two and two together that there are things that he puts together from being in the league for 10, 12 years that are just really incredible information. Mm-hmm. My question, though, about that is, is there anybody else out there that feels like, why is he spilling secrets?
Interesting.
I mean, why? Like, what other player right now is going on talking about, and this is not a bad thing. I'm just like, what other player goes out there and just talks about other players like this so openly?
Well, Patrick Beverly is one comes to mind. I know his season just ended, but Steiny, you can't hide brilliance. I don't think there was an agenda there. It's just you pick up on what he has upstairs, his basketball knowledge and IQ just by him talking.
No, but
his podcast allows him to just chop up what just transpired in the playoffs. And what I do, going to your point, I'm like, well, Phoenix knows maybe they're stuck, but all they need is a point guard. They get a point guard in there, keep the big three, then they're better off. But that's being dumb to Phoenix. They know that. I had no problem with that.
What other player in the NBA, and Patrick Beverly's not this, what other player in the NBA is talking right now like as openly about other players? He did it in the first round. He did it at, with like, are we going to get a Minnesota, Denver podcast from him?
Oh, no doubt. And it'll probably come after tonight. I'll tell you
what's he going to say? How like the best way to guard Jokic?
Well, no, he's doing. I could think of 4 other guys that do it, but they don't play. It's the TNT crew.
Exactly. That's my point. He's an active player, and again,
but he's telling you what's going.
But why is he the only one?
Oh, I don't have that answer.
I don't either. But I listen. I love it.
Sign me up.
I love it, but I just think it's. I think it's fascinating. I think it's fascinating that he gets on his podcast and really, really dissects the game and the individuals and stuff about the game that not the average person knows. And he's given all this information. I just think it's interesting. Why is
he not hurting the Warriors? Do you think?
No, I don't necessarily think so.
I don't either. But
I just
what if Durant heard that?
I'm sure he did.
I gotta feel like damn, I gotta respect him for telling the truth. Maybe I want to try it again. Let's see what can happen.
But when he told the truth about KD before, KD didn't like it. Like Draymond really doesn't. He must not care, which I guess
he
is
does
a good
because
thing.
when he sat down with Durant when they had that infamous podcast, Tony, and asked him was he the reason they left,
I don't believe anything in that podcast.
Wow.
I don't believe the
I've
interview
heard
with
that
Clay.
before.
925, he's not spilling any secrets. He's spilling his opinion. The end. He has no idea what they're trying to do in Phoenix, and if he does, that's a bigger problem for the Warriors than anything else. I can't dismiss that as just opinion.
He's working on his next craft, or so we think, Steiny. And his craft is to chop it up and give analysis on said players, and he's got a head start, and he's doing that right now.
That would be the reason to me.
And that's why the podcast is taking off.
I mean, that would be the reason to me, is that he's going to be on TNT. Well, who knows where he's going to be, but he's going into broadcasting after his career, and he's working on his game. But I think his game is, his analysis game is unbelievable.
We've talked about this. It's incredible, man.
I don't know that I've ever heard anybody talk about the game like Draymond Green.
Well, Kobe, remember he used to do his thing. Evan, help me out. I forget the name of, after he retired.
Yeah, after he retired.
Okay, yeah, no, I got you. Not Jordan.
But also, I
forget what the Mambas was. He'd put Jason Tatum's game under the microscope and then show video, and then he would give his analysis on it, and you're sitting there like, just inject that in my veins.
415, Paul George does some of that on his pod. Yeah, but I like the way Paul George just interviews.
You said that before.
Interviews other.
Drake is firing off takes. Excuse me, Drake. Dre is firing off takes.
Yeah, he is.
I can't wait to hear what he says about Anthony Edwards.
This is more on KD.
Go look at his defense when he was with us. Go look at his defense this year. Sometimes it was good, not as consistently as it was with the Warriors. When K was with the Warriors, he was one of the best rim protectors in the league. Yep, you heard it. I'm going to say it again. He was one of the best rim protectors in the league. Our small lineup worked in part because teams would try to go small and have no rim protection and think we just out there. No, me and K out there protecting that rim. Andre come across, strip you. K was protecting the rim. If the Phoenix Suns want to beat the Minnesota Timberwolves, K, who I know can be a great defender, got to go guard Anthony Edwards. That never happened for a large part of the series.
Wow.
Remember when we were talking about Kevin Durant as a defensive player of the year
I'll
candidate?
never forget it.